Boy, welcome. Don't I?
Hit him hard, let's go. Red T-E-C-K, running back like where's my replay? Got it all in the mix, no DJs. Said it's hard in the game like he did. Miscellaneous, spitting real talk for the entertainment. Other podcasts stand the game up when they get smacked back down like a WrestleMania. Tell them that they better get their notes ready at a home city. You know, get the ball, keeping on the low setting. And you know what you say, so we never gotta get tapped on everybody else. They should get ready. Ain't nobody else doing this like I. Better keep them cameras and microphones hot, cause this one's a vibe. Gotta run this race with my tribe. Going live with the pie. Do it like there's no tomorrow. Came to my ear later. Shout out to my point guard. We about to hit him hard. Got him throwing in the tap. Tell the red blow the whistle. This is technical foul.
Welcome to episode 390 of Technical Foul, the sports podcast you never knew you needed.
And it's your boy, TIMKINZ, the number 3, a.k.a. Ass Ketchum, a.k.a. Mr. Give It To Me.
Hey, Bruce, can we get the comments? I am the Eric J, only known as the Eric J, and that is all you get. Camille's not here. She's taking a PTO day, so we holding it down.
For sure. And it's your boy K here. Well, I sound good this week. It's your boy K Harris, the gentleman.
The gentleman.
The everyday gentleman.
24/7.
But better known as Mr. Ooh yeah.
Ooh yeah.
Return of the Pits. The Pits. Title. We got a title off top.
It's the return of. Yeah, bro. Like famous ain't here this week.
Oh, shit.
We gotta hold it down.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's how that goes. Let me share the show.
Okay. Make sure that you follow us on all our social medias. That's at Technical Foul on Twitter, IG, and TikTok. We're at Technical Foul Podcast on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, make sure that you join us every Tuesday, starting around 7 p.m. Central Time. We go live. You can join the comments. You can be in here with Shaolin, who's here religiously. We appreciate
Part of the
it.
fam.
For sure.
For sure.
But while you're on YouTube, make sure that you like, subscribe, share, do everything, anything that you can to help the algorithm spread us to more people. I don't know what she always say.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah,
You
that's
got
about it.
We're not going to do the game that needs a name. We're just going to get right into it.
To the shit.
There it is.
I didn't even pull it up.
All right. NBA playoffs.
Playoffs.
There we go. We are in the thick of the second round.
Into the thick of it.
I think the best. Wow, I just got a push notification that the Pacers cut into the league. But I think the best series so far, at least through the first 4 games, would have been. Well, no, maybe not. Anyway, Eastern Conference, Knicks and Celtics. That is the series that we've been the most wrong about. I think all 4 of us. So selected Boston. Tim had them in 7. The rest of us had them in 6. That does not appear to be the way that one is going because the Knicks are up 3-1. And Boston sustained a very serious injury yesterday, which we'll get to. But first off, what has gone differently about this series from what you expected?
I would say the expectation that the Knicks was going to be having a harder time than they have with Boston. The expectation was that Boston was going to come in and the Knicks was going to have to fight and scratch and claw their way. And if Boston had a bad game, then maybe the Knicks would win. But more than likely, if Boston played well to okay or okay to well, then it was Boston's series to lose.
Yeah.
And what people figured out, and we've all figured out as they've been playing, is these Knicks don't give a fuck what you're talking about.
I love it.
And they've been scrapping and they've been clawing and they've been fighting and they've had comebacks and they've had clutch moments and clutch shots and clutch steals to where I get why you would say is one of the most exciting, but the lead of 3-1 kind of kills that. But it has been some really good and entertaining games and the finishes that they've had.
Yeah.
It does suck that Boston suffered the Jayson Tatum injury. But yeah,
I mean, even before that, like it
with him in there with 42,
right? I was gonna say they could have, but it seemed like the tide had already turned before he went down with the injury yesterday. Like it
Mhm.
seemed like the Knicks were starting to run away with it. So
Yeah.
like I think we can talk about it up until that point. Because again, like it 3-1 is not anything anybody expected, I would assume.
No.
And for me, like it took game one's comeback. Like I was still kind of like on the fence where it's like, maybe this was kind of a one-off.
Mhm.
But like I could at least see the outline of, the Knicks basically built their team to beat Boston this year.
Yeah.
Like they loaded up on wings.
Mhm.
They went and got OG last year.
Two-way.
They already had Hart.
Mm-hmm.
They bought the farm with
Michael Bridges.
With Bridges. And then they got a big that can kind of do the same things that the Boston bigs can do, which is pick and pop.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also somebody that can like eat inside. Somebody that's probably the best big, center shooter that we've seen ever.
Yeah.
So like they built their team for this moment, and you're seeing it all come together. Granted, they play a ton of minutes and they don't go deep in their bench, but like that's the perfect way for Tibbs. Like, and they have guys that have shown that they can do it. Like OG has been a little bit injury prone in his career, but when he's played, like he's been a high minutes guy. You got Bridges, who's an Iron Man. You got Hart, who is just
Iron Man,
aptly named because that boy plays with so much heart. Like he is all gas, no brakes. So, and then you got Jalen Brunson just being the killer in the clutch. So it's in retrospect, it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense, especially combining with what Boston hasn't done well. But like
the threes ain't been falling.
Paying attention to the Knicks specifically, like they've done everything that they've needed to in this series. Like I have another point, but I want to tag you in for a minute.
My thing, I said last year and after again this season, I want the Knicks to do well. I want the Knicks to win a championship, fam. Just because that organization, dude. I just want to see how chaotic it'll be. Fans
will turn New York upside down.
New York will be on fire,
been kind of chill this playoffs, which has been the most surprising part. Like, yeah, they've been Knicks fans, but like they haven't been. Like I feel like they don't want to jinx it at this point.
Yeah, because it's too good to be true.
We gonna hold this down for a minute. They gonna let loose if they win the title.
Yeah, but the Knicks are
that Bing Bong. Like, I haven't seen any of them Bing Bong videos. Like,
hey man, they there.
Don't sound like that sounds like a euphemism. It is not.
Yeah. Well, no, this Knicks team is a great team to watch, man. They're a fun team, and they love to shoot, fam. They go shoot that thing. So watching them run again, when we was talking about Hart. And all of those guys, like they go 100 miles per hour, fam, like the entire game, and it's hard to keep up with that, especially being down 3-0. Like no,
like it feels like they're rope-a-dope in Boston. Like they let them kind of tire themselves out with shooting and running up and down, but then like
they
have more endurance. Like they get better as the game goes along. Sure. Like Bridges, I think in the last or 2 of the last 3 games, where it's like has basically given them nothing through like the first half or the first 3 quarters, and then just turns up in the fourth in overtime, I think, in one of them games. The one thing that's really stood out to me is kind of like it's been consistency and poise on the Knicks side versus like high variance and panic on the Boston side, where it's like Boston, if their threes are falling, like they are a machine, you can't do anything with them. But like as soon as there's like a little bit, like you gum them up a little bit, you take like one piece out a little bit, like it can kind of bog down really quickly, and then they get tight, and then like all those threes that are always falling, they just stop. Everybody goes cold, and they can't like restart that momentum. And before his injury, like Tatum would get to settling too much, and if he's not attacking the basket and creating like good 3-point looks, like then they're just like walking up the ball, maybe 2 passes, 3-pointer, 2 passes around the perimeter, 3-pointer. It's like those are the 3-point shots that they don't need to be taking.
Brown had a shot after Tatum went down. I'm like, oh, good Lord, what kind of 3 was that?
And then
from the corner.
Like Brown, I'm interested to see what he does now, but like Brown
everybody
gets
will
pressing and he thinks has to go hero ball. It's like, that's not what they need from you. Like you are a pick your spots kind of guy and not it's on me now. I got to take, like, so that's the thing for me is just stood out. It's like when things get tight, like New York is just like real steady, especially Jalen Brunson. Like I'm trying to find like a modern day equivalent, and like I can't think of it, but it's like Jalen Brunson being like one of the best players is like if I don't know, like who's like a if Ish Smith's son wound up being like an all-star one day, like it's just really weird that Rick Brunson's kid is like a killer, but he is. Like I don't know what to tell you.
And like killer indeed. Like Brunson is Brunson, honestly, Brunson has been still that engine for the team because, like, even when he got hurt coming back, still been hitting game-winning shots, clutch moments. Like, he got voted Clutch Player of the Year, like, and he's been showing it this entire series. Like, I feel like it was an interesting question posed yesterday.
Okay.
No, but you know what? I'm gonna save it. I'll save it. But it was a Carmelo era versus Brunson era.
Oh, that's hand down, bro. Like they've already
and that was unanimous immediately. Not unanimous.
It's not even a conversation. Like the Knicks had like one.
It was in the second round.
It was the second round once. Like you can't even really call that a run.
And now you're going here with them for the Eastern. They go into the Eastern Conference Finals unless they have like a drastic just meltdown.
I mean, yeah, let's not jinx it for them yet. But like I do think that they've already sustained winning on a level that the Melo teams never did. Which isn't a shot at Melo. It's just like that. This is a better team,
and that's what the initial sticker shock was like. No, I'm like, well, yeah,
it's Melo.
It's Melo, but this team is better. Like they're built to sustain winning a lot better than long too, depending on their health.
The organization is just in a much healthier place now. Like you have Leon Rose and you have Tibbs, who are very like they're good at their jobs, and like Melo had. I don't even know who the GM was. Like, eventually they had Phil Jackson, and he had, like, Mike Woodson was probably the best coach he had the entire time there. So, it's like, it's not apples to apples. Like, it's just Brunson's in a much better position than Melo was ever put into. But, yeah, I mean, I guess we can get to the most important long-term thing, which is Jayson Tatum towards Achilles yesterday. He had surgery on it today. They don't have his long-term like timetable for his recovery, but it's an Achilles, so you can assume that he won't be back next season. How does Tatum's injury affect the Celtics? Like, how does that change the landscape of the East? What does it change about the Celtics in the short and long term? I guess I can kind of set the table, which is they were already headed towards having to make some really important roster changes as soon as this summer.
This would be a crazy summer.
I think they have like $500 million in luxury tax payments that were due if they keep this team together long term. So they were already planning to probably move off of one, if not two, of Porzingis, Horford, Holiday. I think Derek White, because of like how good his contract is and his contributions, like he's almost as untouchable as Tatum probably was. And eventually they're going to have to make a choice about like one of their max guys. So now their centerpiece guy has a very devastating injury that you don't know what he's going to come. I mean, he's 27. So this is probably the best case scenario for like an Achilles guy where it's like, if anybody's going to come back and be normal, it's probably going to be Jayson Tatum. Like we already saw with KD. But like
27 is still relatively
27
young.
is still relatively young. He can eventually make his way back to being an elite player, but obviously he's not going to be what he was athletically at any point, probably. So, like, what does this change about Boston? I guess we can start long term and then talk about like what it means for the East in the next 2 seasons.
You already stated that they need to make they have some decisions to make this summer. When he went down, it's unfortunate, but my next thought was a lot of people have been wondering what JT and JB would look like if one was leading the team as opposed to the other. And it's always been the debate who's the better of the two, and it's always been who's the captain, whatever the case may be.
Alpha.
So now, this is JB's opportunity to show exactly that. Because I think he was mad at one point, kind of like, I'm not going to try to put words in his mouth, but was there any insinuation that he wanted to be that and people should look at him that way? If not, then cool. But if it was, then this is that opportunity in that moment for him to seize. I don't know this will also be a chance for Boston to look at the team constructed around him, seeing as Tatum will be out. So you're going to have to at least lean on JB probably for the next 2 years for sure. So what does the dynamic, or how do you change this team to more so accentuate him as opposed to the team itself? Because they seem like a team built for a team. You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to built around a player, it's built to be a cohesive unit. So it'll be interesting the way that Boston will have to change the way that they're actually looking at their team building on top of the decisions that they have to make for salary reasons this summer. So it's going to be interesting because there will be so many different players that's available due to the cap and due to the apron, and probably because now how the NBA lottery shook out. Like, it's going to be a lot of interesting discussions for, I think, a lot of big name players this summer. Long term for the East, though, I think that.
Well, it's more short term for the East, long term for the Celtics. So, again, like we don't know what, because of Tatum being out and because of their luxury tax stuff, we don't know what Boston is going to look like next season.
Correct.
I think going into this year, especially after the title, like people are kind of looking at like, this is Boston's conference for, you know,
however,
as
until they don't want it to
you
be.
can kind of look at a landscape, but that is dramatically changed. Changes with the Bucks that are incoming, like that's another team that may or may not be at the top of the East anymore. You have New York, who's ascending. You have Indiana, who's ascending. You have Cleveland, Orlando, Detroit. Like, you have a lot of teams that probably look at it like, oh my God, our window has now opened.
Yeah,
it's anybody's game.
It's anybody's game. Like, maybe the Knicks are a budding dynasty. Like, they have the best player remaining, I would think. Probably the best two, honestly. Brunson and Cat. Indiana probably feels overlooked.
They do it, but they're another team built like a team. You know what I mean? Like, they set up great for Halliburton to just set the table for the rest of the team.
Really, maybe it's because I don't like Halliburton, but like, I honestly, Siakam is the one that I'm like, that's the guy.
Right. Like, as far as like their guy that you got to like keep his ass. Yeah. Siakam for sure, but I feel like him being able.
We've seen him do that in Toronto, and now has assumed that role in the Pacers. Like, I think he's there. Like, I don't really get into like whose team is it, because that's more of an internal thing. But I think that it's Siakam that kind of takes them up a level.
Do you think the team is built better for him here? And do you? Because I feel like there was, you get your star, and you be like, okay. We're going to try to set it up, because Siakam was a piece they added last year.
I think that, like, for internal stuff, like, the face of the franchise is Tyrese Halliburton.
Right. And I feel like they were setting him up for him.
I think their best player is
Siakam. Yes. For sure.
Camille says he's been their most consistent.
And
I think it's like,
I fuck with Siakam. Spicy P's, I mean, dude is nice. And I think him assuming that role, because they needed a go-to scorer for sure. But, like, him having to do that from Toronto and going over from a nice team to being by himself to back to a nice team again, like, he's kind of been in that situation where, like, I feel like he's picking his spots too.
Yeah.
I think we're getting far afield. Like, basically,
my bad.
What I think the East is going to be wide open, or at least teams are going to feel like the East is wide open, which may make teams that were slow playing it, like maybe Detroit looks at this year and they're like, okay, like we don't want to overreact to a good season. Like, maybe we still, but like now maybe they're looking at their pieces like, hey, if we can go out and get a guy, like maybe this is when we cash in. Maybe, Thompson twin, like we don't want to wait on that. Maybe we can go get, I'm just throwing out a name. I don't know if it's possible, but Devin Booker, I think he's actually from Detroit. So maybe that is a realistic target. We're like, okay, we can trade in like all these picks that we have. We can trade in these young guys and really go get a player, because it's like our window is open. Maybe Orlando's like, clearly we need more shooting. We need a point guard, I guess. Maybe we go out and get, I don't know. I'm assuming Maxey probably isn't available, but like somebody like that where it's like, it's a guy that they wouldn't have necessarily gone it all in for, but like because their window is now open, that opens it up. Like, if anything, like it makes the summer that much more interesting. Like, again, Bucks, like maybe Giannis was leaning more towards maybe I will go, and now it's like, well, Boston ain't in my way anymore. Maybe we can make a run at it even without Dame next season. Like it
just depends on how the team goes.
It's chaos. So if anything, I think that's the biggest effect is that a lot more teams probably think they have a shot now.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. And just like Tim alluded to earlier, is that Boston is a system, and I feel like they understand their system well, and I feel like they'll make the necessary chess moves that they need to even though Tatum is out and JB moves in like the lead role, they still gonna be able to put somebody in the puzzle to still make the system work.
Like again, like this season at the very least, like they're down 3-1, so backs against the wall at this point.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
They do have guys that were overqualified for the roles that they were in, so like maybe they can.
So they'll probably move Horford back into the starting five. With
I don't like. I guess like more so like they can do more. Like like Drew was like
he can step. He can just go.
He's a very overqualified fifth option. Like maybe he can slide up again.
Because they still got Derek White.
They still have Derek White who can kind of slide up a little bit more. Like you have
the shots
a guy who was number 2 that's now like on any other team I will be number 1. That's not true, but he probably thinks that. And now he's in like his proper place as he sees it. So like maybe they can withstand it, and maybe
everybody just take that step to where because that's the issue. Like
you got Peyton Pritchard off the bench, 6th man of the year. Like he's somebody that could probably start on a lot of teams.
Correct. And like you said, they just got a bunch of overqualified as players to where for Boston's system, this blow probably won't be as bad as it will for any other team because they have so many other players that fit the mold for what they need.
Yeah. If any other team lost the All NBA first team player, it would be
devastated.
A much worse situation than
for sure.
Boston will be. Although again, like their season could be over as soon as like Thursday. So
Milwaukee,
who knows? Yeah, I mean we'd be screwed if Giannis got hurt.
Yeah, we lost Dame.
Yeah, I don't think he's making all in.
Oh no! See, here you go. I was trying.
I'm just saying. We talked a little bit about the Pacers before, but can you pull up the score? They are currently leading the Cavs 3-1. Only 13 teams have come back from 3-1. Do you think these Cavs will be able to do it?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I feel like they already gave up.
They leading by 4.5. Cavs.
Okay.
They were up by as much as 19. So
damn.
Wow. And that's Jesus.
And Indy already came back.
And that's a blow, bro. Like that's to your morale, to your confidence. Like you like fam. Like every time we get up, bro, they come back.
They're like a 90s slasher film.
Yeah, it's
that
just
motherfucker
like,
just don't die.
Just don't die. And that could be demoralizing to your team to their confidence too. So
yeah. Like that's what it was like playing the Bucks. I seen a TikTok and it was like somebody who's not a fan of the Pacers, but it's somebody whose team got beat by them. We tried to warn y'all. We lose, and everybody like, damn, how y'all getting beat by the Pacers? And then they come to your town, and the next thing you know, they kicking your ass. And then everybody confused, like, damn, how we getting beat by the Pacers? Like, them niggas is good, bro. They actually are good.
Like, I said that last week.
Yeah, she been saying that. She definitely said that good.
Right. But it's just always crazy talking about these cats because, again, the energy and effort with New York and Indiana, I feel like has been the biggest difference. Because, yeah, they have these halves or these quarters, but it's not like they out there just half-assing. It's not like you see them out there just being aloof about the shit. Like, sometimes the motherfuckers is hot. They playing two of the best teams, so they just be hot. They get hot.
So, like, I push back on that a little bit because, like, I don't feel like anybody's lacking energy and effort. Like, Cavs have been outplayed, to be quite honest, but I don't think it's because like they've been loafing. Like, one, they were missing guys early on, and the Pacers are just like out. Like the Pacers, they're a very high tempo team, so they just run guys.
I'm not saying that they're aloof. I'm alluding to that. Like they're just energy and effort, all gas. Same thing with New York. Like they just gonna keep running and keep going, and they just gonna outrun and outgas you eventually. Like that's the issue there.
Like I guess that's what I was saying was that like they were rope-a-doping them, where it's like you know that you have endurance, like you know that you can outlast these people. So run as much as you can early, tire them out, and then when they don't have any more gas, like you can just blow past them. I think that's what both New York and Indiana have done to their opponents this round, which makes it interesting what will happen next round.
There's gonna be fireworks next round.
Because again, like
gonna be
New
running.
York, it's like, yeah, they've done that to Boston, but like they don't have the depth, whereas Indy's second unit also run like Indy's second unit might actually be faster than their starters.
And them niggas don't care the second unit. You got the thugs on the second unit. They out here punching people in the chest and shit.
Really, you just got Ben Mather. Like I'm not gonna call him thugs. Like
that nigga, he punched him in the chest and then turned around and flopped. Oh, hey, you gotta be like, come on, dog.
Bitch nigga behavior.
Come on, dog.
Which doesn't help for their front running
mentality that people hate.
Yeah. And also Tyrese Halliburton not talking to the media the one game that they lose this series, and then next game you're cheesing on the.
I hate it. I hate it. That's why I don't like these things, because you don't know how to lose, and then when you win, you don't know how to win. Like you just be talking, but then when they lose, like you can even see it in the games that they down, they don't say shit. They don't be saying a word. The minute that they get 1 point up, the Milwaukee talkie come out of that nigga, bro. These niggas don't shut the fuck up. Like that shit nuts.
Let's go. Even though he's from outside.
I get
what surprised you guys the most, I guess, about this series?
Honestly, the Cavs being down 3-1. Now, mind you, they had injuries the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So by game 3, they're like, no, you niggas need to come back. Whatever was hurting all 3 of y'all, come on back. And they were up that game, and then they were down again. So it's kind of crazy.
I don't know if it's not like I have the same feeling about Cleveland that I have about OKC, where it's like they remind me too much of those early Bud teams in Milwaukee, where it's like you are a regular season monster. You just run through teams. You never face adversity. You just think, oh, this shit gonna work because it's worked all year, and then a team game plans against you, and you don't have a counterpunch. I think that if Denver were better, like OKC would really be in trouble. And honestly, Denver probably should have won game 4 too. But it's the same thing where it's like you got to show me like that you know how to win in the playoffs, and because they haven't done it thus far, like I'm still skeptical that they're going to do it. Like maybe they need to get their face kicked in a little bit more to really learn and like be a little bit more versatile. I think that's been again, it hasn't been a surprise, but like that's what stood out the most.
Because there was a buzzsaw, bro. Like they truly were smoking cats.
Yeah.
So moving to the West, Steph Curry suffered a hamstring injury during the second quarter of Game 1. Initial reports had him out at least 1 week, with Game 6 being a realistic return date. Do you think the Warriors can stay along long enough for Steph to return to this series against the Wolves?
Hell no.
Down 3-1.
To the no.
No, it's just like because the thing too is that they have Jimmy, but when Jimmy's not on, ain't nobody else can do anything else, fam.
Now that's one where I'll be like energy and effort, because it's like Jimmy will have these points and like maybe he knows he doesn't have it, but it's like he'll have these spells where he's just like not looking at the rim, he's not taking shots, he's not being aggressive, and it's like you don't have the engine to your offense. They brought you in to be that guy when Steph is out, and you can't just be like, oh, I'm picking my spots, I'm playing the right way, blah blah blah. It's like they need somebody to go get a bucket, and you're Jimmy Buckets, like you're supposed to be that dude. So I feel like if he's not gonna go, if he can't go playoff Jimmy anymore, they're DOA.
Because he's still working through his injury, right?
I guess that's fair, but again, like he out there, so like I don't want to hear injuries as an excuse.
I mean, shit, Chris had 2 broken ankles out here putting up 40 in game winners and shit. I feel you on that.
Like you injured, sit your ass down. But if you out there, like then the expectation is that you can contribute.
Yeah, but again, like we see, it's the Curry effect. Like he is one of the most amazing players that we've ever seen. But when he's not on the court, like you see how much you miss him as a team. Like when you build a team and when you have a Steph Curry on, it's easier to build a squad around that. But when that piece is gone, then it's like who else can really step up? And then it's cats that's not used to stepping up because they never really had to. Because you can always rely on Steph Curry go get us through this.
I saw somebody say Jordan Poole be going crazy in this series.
He would though. I swear he would. He would be going crazy.
No hesitation, bro.
And I'm glad you mentioned Steph because that brought up something. But dude, I'm gonna have a blow the whistle in a minute. I saw somebody ask the question: if every player in the NBA right now was in their primes, how would you rank the top 5?
Ooh, shit. Brown would be one.
I was gonna say Brown. I think
Brown
is the one with a
one.
bullet.
Yeah, Brown number one.
Honestly, I do Steph too.
Shit.
Like
Prime
Prime
KD was
2016,
unfucking real.
2016 Steph.
MVP KD.
So like with KD, and this may be controversial. I actually probably would put KD 5.
Who the other 3?
The other 3 are
2. I'm sorry.
Giannis and Jokic.
Okay.
I think peak Giannis and Jokic, from a team standpoint, I think both of them do a better job of making their teams better than KD ever did. And that's not a knock on KD. It's just KD is a great one-on-one ISO player, but KD was never, and maybe he was never in that role because he always had Russ. Better. He always had
he always had Hope.
Harden. He always had Steph. He always had somebody else to be the offensive initiator.
Take some load off.
He just had to be go get buckets.
Yeah.
But I feel like those other guys were the sun revolved around them a lot more than it ever did with KD. And I feel like you're in a better position to win with those 4 over KD. But again, we talk about Hall of Famers, first ballot, greatest of all
Would you
time.
take KD on the Bucks today?
Without
if that was our addition this offseason to keep Giannis stays in our addition by subtraction or whatever the case may be because he would be available is KD. Would you be okay?
I mean, I would take anybody that can score on that team. I think that's really going to be so much is going to be on Giannis offensively next year that he just needs a second option. And currently, depending on how free agency shakes out, currently that is Kyle Kuzma, which I am not looking forward to.
Kuzma prove y'all wrong, man.
Who has he? Who has he yet?
I saw somebody bring up DeRozan. That's basically a poor man's KD at this point, and it's I'll take it just because you need somebody else that's going to be the number one option when Giannis.
Tony would say Levine.
I think.
I mean, shit. At this point,
I think salary wise, Kuzma for
Levine actually
works. Levine makes way too much money.
That's the thing. That's his thing.
The only way they could get Levine is if they wanted to take Dame, which I'm assuming that wouldn't happen. So, but we'll get to Buck stuff later. It was just an interesting thing that I saw, and I'm because I think they had LeBron, Steph, KD, and then they had Giannis and Jokic interchangeable as 4-5.
Okay.
But that still leaves Kawhi, AD, Harden, Westbrook. Again,
it's
we say this all
the
time. Appreciate the era that we are in because we're getting to see a lot of all-timers for a long time. A lot of those guys are in their late 30s now and still contributing at high levels.
Crazy high levels. Better than the motherfuckers that's 12 years younger.
We haven't even seen probably peak Luka. We haven't seen peak. Well, maybe we've seen
peak Wemby yet.
Maybe we've seen peak Tatum at this point. Wemby,
man, damn,
Shea,
and
at his peak is
if
he stays on this trajectory, bro, he could be Lil Bone.
Fucking problem, bro. He is a problem.
I still haven't given up on Zion or Ja. I think that they both still have. Again, if they can get their heads on straight, the talent is there.
Maybe they just need new environments.
Yeah, we definitely need to get Zion out of New Orleans.
Oh yeah, and I can see that as soon as he leaves too.
And that's the Utah.
Everything has just changed for him. Where you can't do nothing but hoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, imagine Zion in OKC, where it's just basketball. Again,
or put him in Minnesota.
We gotta send him somewhere where there's no women and no food.
Damn. No women and no food.
I'm just saying.
It might be some OKC though. I don't know.
I mean,
it's food though.
I'm not gonna say what I think. So we can move on.
I'll come back with a review.
God damn.
Intrusive thoughts win.
I've been holding a lot of them back today. I've been on my best behavior. I've been patting myself on the back. I've been like, dog, do not let them win. They may seep out from time to time.
Shit. comments. Challenge that the Pacers and Knicks will be an insanely fast-paced series. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No pun intended.
it's gonna be a fun. That's gonna be a
That's
fun series. to talk about.
the IndyCar races and shit.
The last series, OKC in Denver. We all thought that the Thunder would win the series against the Nuggets. Game 5 is tonight, with the series tied at 2 games apiece. Do you still think the Thunder will win this series, and why?
Real quick, I'm old as shit. Is that a 3 or a 2-5? That's a 3-5.
Yeah, 35 minutes. Oh wait, before we move on to that series, I had to blow the whistle, so if we can cue the drop.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Yeah.
Enough out of you.
Jesus.
Draymond Green. I don't even remember what he did in game 4.
Figured out that flagrant ain't technicals.
Yeah, ever since he did that, he's been wilding. But he did something in game 4 that nearly got him ejected. And after the game, he's talking about how the media is trying to create, or the media, the league, the referees, somebody's trying to create this narrative about him that he's this angry black man and he rejects that label and all these other things. I'm just like, you're taking a thing that is an actual stereotype that gets unfairly placed on a lot of people to like make us seem like
Argumentative defensive shit like that.
Yeah, to basically be like, you need to calm down. Anytime a black man, black woman, black person expresses any type of emotion or outrage about things that like actually warrant outrage and anger. But like for you, who has one of the first people that I've ever seen with like a highlight reel just of dirty, flagrant plays that like have no place on a basketball court, like you don't get to be the guy to push back against that. You have earned every technical, every flagrant. If anything, like you get they say nobody gets away with more than Draymond Green after one technical or one flagrant foul, because like the league, the referees don't want to kick him out for plays that are borderline. So like he then goes to another level and he's like, you ain't gonna kick me out, you ain't gonna do this. He talks shit, he cusses out the refs, he does all these things on the back. Like maybe in real life he's as calm as can be, but like what we see on the court, like you've earned your reputation, and if anything, like you get preferential treatment from referees from the league.
Hell yeah.
And like I just reject that out of hand. It's bullshit. Like
fuck out of here, nigga.
It's like when he punched again, like you punched your teammate and then came back and blamed the teammate for getting punched.
He should have talking shit.
Like
he should have been blocking. He seen it coming. He looked
protect
at
yourself at all times. Like no, that's not a defense.
For him, it is.
That's not a defense for you punching your teammate square in the face in practice. And he didn't take accountability then. Like he passed the buck then, and it's just it's a pattern of behavior for Draymond. It's just like for you to then try to make it seem like this is something that other people are putting on you. Like no, like everybody needs to push back on that. Like no, you've done it. You are an angry black man.
I've seen a low light clip of him that said Draymond Green's fouls, and each clip gets progressively worse.
He be kicking people in the nuts.
It was like a 3-minute clip.
Well, he kicked niggas in the nuts, fam.
He used Demontis Sabonis as a trampoline.
He stepped on that man.
He like
in the face,
punched somebody in the face, just like was it Nurkic?
Maybe.
Again, like we can point to how many times like you've habitually stepped over the line. Like that's not a media-driven narrative. We got proof. It's on video. We saw what you did. So yeah, I saw that and just couldn't roll my eyes harder, and it annoyed me. So blow the whistle, Draymond Green. Fuck you, nigga.
Damn, he on the fucking list.
He on the fucking list.
Him and Paul Pierce. They in the Hall of Fame of fuck them.
Hall of Lame.
The Hall of Lame.
So yeah, now we can move on to Denver OKC. Will the Thunder win?
I believe they will. I'm still on the bandwagon for OKC. I think I said OKC in 7. I believe something like that. But yeah, I figured it'd be a tough series. It'd be a good series. It'd be a fun series. But I still got faith in OKC. Like the game number 2 where they blew them out by damn near 30, or it may have been just a 30 ball. But that's the team that I figured that the Denver was coming to see. Consistently seeing that team is what's gotten Denver to a tie series, because they have not been that same team twice. But I feel like that team is there more often than the team that is not. So we'll see though. But I got faith in OKC to actually pull out with this one though.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know where the accent came from.
Nah.
But no, I think that OKC will win this series. It's a little bit of hate too. Fuck Denver, all the time. But I strongly hate Denver. So I want them to lose, of course. But again, I do think that OKC is the better team. Denver hasn't been consistent enough for me to really have the true confidence that they can pull it off. Just Murray is always up and down. Even Jokic this series hasn't been as consistent as
been the key.
As we expect him to be.
Out a way to kind of slow down Jokic.
Yeah. So that's why my confidence. I have more confidence in OKC that they're just gonna go ahead and buckle down and pull out the dub.
Like I said earlier about the Cavs, I feel like Oklahoma City is vulnerable. And honestly, if the series go the way that they're projected to at this point, like I don't know if I would pick OKC in another series, like going into it, just because I feel like they've been vulnerable and they haven't really played up to the standard that they've set this year. Especially because they've had issues with size, and I think a lot of the rest of the team can give them issues with size. But I feel like Denver hasn't been good enough. Like they kind of escaped round 1 by the skin of their teeth, and even the games that they pulled out in the second round have been kind of like
buzzer beaters.
How the hell did that happen? You know what I mean? So, and I thought they were about to do it again in game 4, but I don't remember how that game ended, but it was close. Oh, I was saying that Tim, the Pacers have taken the lead. They're on 13-1 run. So,
the motherfuckers just
Cleveland, enjoy Canco.
Damn.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wrap, because if they don't catch up if they overtake them and develop a lead by the end of this third, it's a wrap for Cleveland, bro. That's demoralizing, bro. That's a lot of shit. Like coming in as the number 1 seed and getting smoked in the second round, like that hurts.
It's already been a 22-point swing because they were up by 19 and now are down 50. Right. I think my math was correct on that. Anything else on OKC Denver?
I'm here for the fireworks, bro. Like, if y'all gonna do this shit all the way to 7 games, by all means. It's been some good, fun basketball minus the game 2 blowout. So, do you, bro? I don't have a dog in this. I mean, I'm rooting for OKC, but shit, if they make it to the second round against Minnesota, I got Minnesota.
Never Denver, so.
Never did.
See, you feel about Denver the way I feel about Pacers.
Facts. Big facts.
Yeah.
We are here. Hey.
All right, so that's the playoffs. That isn't the only NBA news by a long shot this week. Yesterday was the NBA draft lottery. I hate that they moved it to a Monday because that was one of my favorite things of the year when we would do live lottery reactions on the pod. It was always during this time. But it was, and it actually would have been a good year to react live because it was chaotic.
Yes, it was.
The teams with the top 3 worst records all are picking 4 or lower, or 4 or higher, I guess. The top 4 picks are Mavs, Spurs, Sixers, and Hornets. So Sixers had like about a 40% chance of losing their pick, so they were very fortunate to have moved up. The Spurs, obviously, they have back-to-back reigning rookies of the year and now are picking in the top 2, although maybe they won't. And then the Mavs, after trading Luka and falling ass backwards into a tank, moved all the way up from, I believe, 9th to the number 1 spot. They had like a less than 2% chance of getting the number 1 pick, and they got it. So they go from white savior to white savior to white savior.
Keep it moving. Keep the train going.
It's like the league needs certain players in certain positions, in certain teams. LA needs a star.
Mm-hmm.
So LA keeps a star.
Yeah.
The Mavs need the Great White Hope.
Mm-hmm.
So they gonna keep
Here
a
he
Great
come.
White Hope.
Hey, he gonna be a problem though.
Shell said house.
I seen something. It was like the year 2008. They got Kyrie, right?
Mm-hmm. No. Who that?
What-
Who you talking
Cavs. What year did Kyrie get drafted?
10 or 11. I think
11.
10.
LeBron leaving 11 in 2010, right?
Yes.
They need to face the franchise. Go ahead and give it to the Cavs. They got number 1. Then you have Chris Paul getting traded to the Clippers. New Orleans get Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
You get Davis getting traded to the Lakers. And then you had, what was it? It was
Zion.
Yeah, the Zion. Luka getting traded to the Lakers from the Mavs. Great White Hope again. You got LeBron leaving in 2010. Cavs getting 11. I think what year was Anthony Bennett? Because they got the number 1 again. And was that 14 or 15 or some shit like that?
Well, the Cavs got the number 1 pick
Twice.
3 times in the span of 4 years.
Yeah, they did.
They was trying to make sure they had a face. That bitch.
Well, again,
That's my conspiracy.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I just want to poke holes in the conspiracy talk. One, the teams that you just mentioned is New Orleans and Cleveland.
I hear you.
If they gonna rig the lottery, why the hell would they rig it for Cleveland and New Orleans? Like, I get that they lost their stars, but it's like, if they had the power to rig the lottery, I think that the Lakers in those years when they were ass and the Knicks all these years that they've been ass, they would have won the lottery at least once.
They still had Kobe though. Like, even though he wasn't playing the way he was, it was still a face. And then from there, who was right after Kobe?
But if there's an
LeBron.
if there's an incentive for the Lakers to be good, I think that the 5 years that they were in the lottery and walked away with Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Lonzo Ball,
Who they traded for
Russell,
another face.
I'm just saying, like they were in
They keep a star
with like Cat and Embiid.
Now you can't be
and all the, you know,
too obvious.
Okay,
You can be obvious enough, but now you can't be blatantly flat out like fuck that shit.
I'm saying I think that they would rig it in ways that are more advantageous to the league.
I don't think they thought LeBron would bring the same. I was talking about it last night. We were talking about a bunch of basketball last night. But LeBron's expectations were astronomical. And the motherfucker came in the league and exceeded the expectations set upon him. I don't think they were prepared for Cleveland to have that type of marketing from that type of small town marketing team. So my conspiracy is gonna go with they needed something to keep that money flowing from that motherfucker as long as until it trickled all the way out. And if we can put another face there for now, while the King's going somewhere else doing his thing, we're gonna do that to keep this residual revenue going.
Thank you, Chef. That was my other point. You also, all the NBA teams would have to be in on the rigging. And these are 30 of the richest and most competitive people, most litigious people. Like, if there was even a whisper.
That's too many hands in the pocket. Then everybody is going to get leaked out that it's going to be rigged. Okay? Everybody can't know that. Everybody cannot come to a conclusion on that one.
Yeah, which only strengthens my point. Like, if anybody thought, like, oh my God, they're rigging the lottery. Like, do you know how many millions, $9 billion of dollars are on the line in a lottery when you have like Wemby or Cooper Flag or Zion when they thought like what he was going to be like
1.8% chance on a coin flip that they won against Atlanta, who had a 1.7. So had it just been the other way around, Atlanta would have been that one. But it just so happened to be the team that traded the super duper star a couple months ago. I hear you. I hear you. The lottery is always a gamble, right? It's always just
like
a big
you have like
gamble.
a 1 in 43 million chance of winning the lottery in like Powerball or whatever.
Right.
People win it.
That's true. Somebody picked them.
It happens.
They pick the ones that don't claim it so they can keep the money.
And then you got it, boss. Camille said only 3 teams have. See, like, I feel your pain, Camille, because like trying to read this screen from all the way back here. Only three teams have had worse odds to win the number 1 pick than the Mavs had, and that would be the Magic in 1993, the Bulls in 08. So that's the Magic in 93. That's when they picked Chris Webber and traded him for Penny. 08 Bulls, that's Derrick Rose. 14 Cavs would have been Andrew Wiggins, that they then traded for Kevin Love, and now the Mavs.
And Wiggins was hyped up coming out. Like he was supposed to be that guy.
Damn, all
3 of them years with some crazy ass players, huh?
Yeah.
But not the
So,
LeBron year, not the Wemby year.
Hey, listen, they was talking about the Spurs getting the Duncan replacement for a while for Pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain things, you know, let's do it for Pop. I hear you, though. I hear you, though.
Let's do it for Pop. Hey, man, Cooper Flag will be a problem.
He's going to a team where if they're healthy, they're a problem already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know they're not.
Kyrie's not coming back until probably like end of the year.
I think that'll be their biggest hope because they don't have.
But they have an environment for him to learn how to be a great NBA pro, which I think is still a huge benefit for him coming in because he's not going to Charlotte or some shit like that where like everybody got to learn how to be a pro. Like you already got a foundation here where it's like, all right, this how I can't remember who it was, but it was like you got Clay there, you got AD there, you got Kyrie there. Like all of these guys have been 1 and 1A on all of their teams at some point. And they all learned how to be a very high superstar that consistently performs and things like so. Him going into an environment like that is dope for him. It made Nico's day, I'm sure. I'm sure, but I mean, it's they're gonna hold on to the pick too. Like it's great for the Mavs, like for a bounce back story for them.
And like Camilla had sent some in our group chat about a guy saying like, actually, this is a terrible spot for Cooper because they're old and like they're gonna spend all these years and he's not gonna get the reps and he's not gonna have young players to grow with and don't like. It's just like y'all overthinking it. Like he's going into a win now situation, which can only be good. Like it's gonna put him in high pressure. Like basketball that actually matters for the first couple of years of his career. And also like you aren't beholden to that. Like if they choose that they want to pivot into something different, like they have future Hall of Famers that they can now trade for, you know, young guys or, you know what I mean? Like they have optionality that most young teams don't have. Like you have an infrastructure in place. You have a winning culture already. Like they just went to the finals last year. They have so many resources. Like this is why I didn't want him to go to a Charlotte where he has to build a culture. Like he can already come into a culture, like you said, he can learn from guys that have won. Like Clay, AD, Kyrie have all won championships as top line stars. Jason Kidd, for all his warts, has coached the team to the finals. He's coached great players in Luka and Giannis. He's has his playing career to fall back on where he was an all-timer, Hall of Famer, led teams to the finals, won championships. Sorry. Yeah. At some point, all those teams have to go get guys. What?
They have to get guys.
Okay. Yes. Like at some point, like they want to surround young players with guys like that. That's why you have the Spurs potentially dangling all terrible word choice.
Yeah.
As soon as I said it, I saw like I'm off peripheral, like you just looked at me. But that's why you have like the Spurs potentially trading the number 2 pick and young players to go get Giannis. Because it's like you want great players around like your young centerpiece guy. It's a crapshoot, and like they want, and you know, like it's just there's no one way to build a champion, but it's great to have like the infrastructure in place. It's like that's my point.
No, I'm cool with it. Like, I just think that there was some lucky motherfuckers. Like, boy, Nico couldn't have been saved faster.
I mean, I still think he's gonna get fired, but
unless he does not trade, unless he trades the number 1 for Giannis or does not draft Cooper Flag, I think he's been saved again. Because then now he's in another championship window.
I mean, possibly. Like
depending their health,
they still have some work to do, but like he can point to it. Like, see, this is part of my master plan. Maybe
knew this all along.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good replacement. Like, they don't play anything alike, but he now has another young star. If anything, like they've now stretched their championship window even further. Like, whereas if you think that Luka is going, cover your ears, Stan. If you think Luka is gonna, break down within the next 3 to 4 years, and you think that your window is closing by the time he hits 30, like now you have Cooper who's 18, I think, and now your window's open for 12 years.
Right, and that was my thing about Cooper. Like he reclassed a year early to play, won damn near every major national award for male basketball player at 18, and now you're finna be the number one, and you've been hyped up for a while. Like if he goes in and fulfills the expectation, because a lot of people are labeling him a generational talent. If he goes in and does that, then yeah, Dallas is set for a minute, and then you could just play. And you got him on a rookie deal for like the first 4, so you could just.
Like the thing that stands out the most to me, not the most, but like the thing that stands out to me is that he's met every expectation that he's had. Like for me, those guys that get hyped so much in high school, like so often it's kind of like he gets to college and is like good, and maybe he'll continue to get better. But like Cooper came in and was the best player in college basketball last year, and like has consistently, like throughout high school, it's kind of like they wanted to keep pushing guys above him, and he kept raising his game every step of the way. And so like for me, that speaks to work ethic, that speaks to potential, that speaks to like having your head on straight and not getting like blinded by, I'm the number one player in the league, number one player in the country, so y'all gotta come, catch me. It's basically like, I'm gonna keep raising the bar. So I have none but high hopes for him. So, like, catching up on these comments, Camille, you are going ham in there. She said, at some point, those teams have to go get guys. She's speaking of, like, the terrible teams in the draft. I think she said the draft is probably their only avenue.
No, at that time, we were talking about how the Mavs still need to, I guess, getting more players like at some point, the teams are going to have to go get the players like the Clays or whatever like that for them, and the draft is the best avenue, correct?
But then she says, I wanted Washington to get flagged before the lottery. That franchise has been through enough. Yes, they have. I saw somebody say, I watched them lose 64 games just to end up with a guy, like, there's an international dude from Illinois. And it's like, when you put it like that, that's tough. Like, you got the 6th pick, and you just sat through, like,
64 L's.
Season.
Lord Jesus.
Utah was purposely tanking and wound up at 5. Like, yeah, people have talked about, like, the flattening of the lottery odds was to kind of kill tanking, which it didn't. And also now you're kind of rewarding teams or penalizing teams that are just bad
because they're just bad.
Because they're bad, and like they don't really have avenues to which they can get better. I mean, I think I said it when they flattened the odds and did all these things. I'm like, I don't feel like tanking is a big enough problem, and you're creating like the potential for unforeseen consequences. You know what I mean? Like where it's like you try to fix one problem and then you create like 5 more.
Right. Because it's a Band-Aid. It's not necessarily fixing the issue. You just like, oh, here's a temporary fix real quick. Well, we think that it's going to do this, but you didn't think about it 5 years from now, the snowball effect that you're creating.
Yeah. And like, it's always a shifting landscape because like under the previous CBA, like maybe there were more avenues for you to improve your team. But like now it's like,
it's just the draft.
You only really go through the draft. Like,
which is what they want.
Free agency is basically dead. Like you can't just spend your way out of being terrible. Like you really have to build a team, and the only way to really build it is through the draft because that's the only way that you're going to get players to go to Charlotte. And I don't know. I feel like we're picking on Charlotte a lot, but like Washington.
Shit, if they wouldn't put themselves in this situation to get picked on, they'd be all right.
But again, like sometimes you're just bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes the guys that you pick get hurt or they don't pan out or. You know,
hey, we've been the butt of jokes for years.
They,
play with guns.
Go shopping on OnlyFans a little too often. Like there are things that happen to young guys that
are
you
detrimental.
Need more bites of the apple. Shaolin said it's sad that tanking teams still have a chance to fall outside of the top 3 to a team who was just in the finals recently.
Yeah.
That's
where the cookie crumbs.
Right. Like that's the chance that you take when you go all in on kind of like a tanking strategy. So I think it's worked to a degree. Like you don't have teams tanking for years on end because you can end up where you can have the worst record like 3 years in a row, and like the highest pick you get is 5
or 6. Like, come on, bro. What? Yeah.
But that's what y'all asked for, so live with it.
What in Detroit? Didn't they have pick number 5 2 years in a row? Thompson and what's the name? He was hurt last year. Ivy, yes.
5. Asar was 5. Kate was 1. I'm trying to think of like all their lottery picks. Yeah, I think they just had 5 back years.
Jalen Duren. He was like number 10, wasn't he?
No, he was like 13 or something.
But they was bad forever. They were bad for such a long time.
Well, that's again, but like I think they snuck in before like the lottery odds changed, and they got K that 1 year. It's like you gotta have a bite, you gotta have a chance to get one of those guys because you're not gonna sign a free agent to do it. And now you can't trade for it. Like there are some of your restrictions. And like that's the other thing that they haven't really thought about is like you have all these restrictions on like luxury tax teams that they can't trade this and they can't do this with salaries, and like the teams at the bottom that aren't in luxury is like, well, we can't trade with this team because they
can't trade at nothing.
We can't make trades work. So I mean they're creative and they'll figure it out, and I think the salaries are going to come down eventually. But yeah, tough sledding. Did you have anything about the draft lottery?
No, I'm good. Go Mavs.
Would you trade Luka back to the Mavs for Cooper?
Shit. No, I still wouldn't. It sounds good though, but I wouldn't. Luka for gonna take us to the promised land.
If he plays some defense.
Yeah,
some.
Yeah,
some. We're not even saying all the time.
Yeah,
some.
Yeah,
eat a salad.
Hey man, he love a beer too, man.
Yeah, I was watching some dude going crazy. I think I sent that to the group. He was like, that fat motherfucker is on the court. He a salad some shit. Oh, he's juicy. Just juicy.
Called Luka juicy.
Juicy is nuts. That is crazy, sir.
I was cracking up. But
that's crazy. That's crazy work.
All right, last NBA thing I got, and then we can get into wrestling because we are at an hour, so we're gonna move right through this. But Shams Charania reported yesterday that Giannis Antetokounmpo is open to exploring his options. Is this much ado about nothing, or is it a legitimate concern from what?
This year, I would think it's more of a concern than anything. Exploring options is one thing. Him coming out and actually saying "I want to" is going to be different.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be different when he actually comes out and says that, because then that gives us the inclination that he would like to be traded. At that point, that's when the conversations like these are really like they've already started. They've been started for years, but this year is truly the closest that I feel like we might. And this is also the year that assets are available that I wouldn't mind getting back for him. San Antonio. All right, cool. I appreciate it. Y'all want to get him? You want to go? If you want to go, my point from this conversation forward is if you want to go.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, Camille was correct when you said when. If he asked out.
Fair. Didn't realize I said when, but if he asks us out. But that's why I referenced it, like, preface my conversation like if he asks out from here on out, like.
Okay, so, well, one, I just want to read Camille's comment because she dropped one in here. She said, I think it's the most legit it's ever been, but also don't think it means he's out the door. The East is kind of open, and I don't see a proper trade partner in the East for him, so he'd have to go out West. You want championships? The pathway through the East is your best bet. Which I think is a good point.
Because of the parity over here, for sure.
Like, it's just an easier path. Like, think about, like, I don't remember what the Grizzlies' record ended up being, but it was like close to 50 wins just to get in as an A seed.
Mm-hmm.
You had all those teams kind of bunched up from like basically 3 to 8 or 9 in the last like week of the season.
Within a game of each other. Yeah, that's true. And
so
then
you can have a 50-win season and wind up in the play-in in the West, whereas 50-win season in the East is probably home court advantage.
Yeah,
especially now because you don't know what's going on with Boston.
I can see that. But I would prefer him to go West anyways. To be fair,
I don't really care. Like if we lose Giannis, like we not contending for the rest of his career, basically. So
I feel you, but I would rather see him in the finals. If we gonna have to see him, I would rather see him in the finals for one. Two, I don't want to give anybody else in the East more ammunition to where I'm gonna really suck. At least give me the chance to be in this wide open East.
I think if we lose Giannis, like we're at the point where it's like we don't concern ourselves with what everybody else is doing. You just build the best team possible.
Which is fair. And now my thing would be a whole youth movement. I'm like, shit, let's just go ahead and go on a youth movement like we've done before. But the assets that we get in return for them has been the topic of most of the conversation.
So you keep going back to that. So I'll let you. Spurs. You said the Spurs have the best trade package.
At least to me. They're like, everybody got an opinion on it. But I would say I would want number 2, number 14, Castle for sure. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Like, I've also explored. I'm like, well, maybe I would like Vassell. I don't know if we would get Vassell too, but at least another 3-4 first round picks and maybe 2 pick swaps, because that seems like that would be fair enough. And that anything less than that would not make sense. Like if Mikal Bridges is going for 5 first round picks, bro, you got to come up out of that lottery. You got to come up out of both of them and Castle.
It's 5 first round picks, but it's like 5 picks in like the late teens, probably.
And in essence, that's kind of what that would happen with those. Once we got him over there, because him and Wemby and whomever left over there, like they go crazy. They go probably have some free agents come in for the low, finish filling out the team, some vets, stuff like that. So it would be the same thing. So they wouldn't mind probably giving us that many assets.
Well, from a draft pick perspective, like you want a team that has other teams' first round picks, because if, like to your point, any team that Giannis is getting traded to is probably going to be picking in the 20s. So
they wouldn't
like
shit.
You don't want those teams' picks. You want like if somebody has Utah picks or if somebody has Charlotte picks. Again, sorry Charlotte, but like if you have a team, Phoenix's picks are probably ideal, because like Phoenix is going to be in for a world of hurt for the next couple of years, which is the team that I would put, like, again, framing it the same way you did. If he asked out, I want to prioritize one, getting a guy. And it's like, if the number 1 pick was on the table, that's a guy that you can build around. Assuming that that's not on the table, the guy for me, and I mentioned it last week, Amen Thompson. Like, I think that he had, of the young guys in the league that could conceivably be on the table, like, he's the one that has the most chance of being like an all NBA guy. And those don't
grow on cheese.
Those don't grow on trees, for sure. And I think that he's actually gettable. And Houston also has a lot of Phoenix picks. I think they have like 2 or 3 Phoenix picks, because they traded with Phoenix. They traded with Brooklyn last year to get the picks that they traded for KD. So that's my ideal destination. And really, I don't even need the Phoenix picks. Like, if you can get Amen Thompson, that's the guy that you build around. And then you don't have to worry about like, oh, maybe it's a lottery pick. Maybe this guy, maybe he'll turn out to be good. It's like, this is a guy I already have high confidence will be good in the league. And maybe Houston won't give him up. But it's like, if you want Giannis, you kind of got to get him up.
Yeah, I mean, no, you
30-year-old Giannis. Like, that should be like the highest trade package in NBA history.
Yeah, like you got to give up the face of your franchise for ours. Like that. That's not a question. So one of the two, whoever your face, send them this way.
Whoever your face.
Like, I don't need
outside of, I mean, they not sending Wemby. Outside of Wemby,
yeah.
But that's because they got the number 2 and 14 pick. That's like high, but still. And this draft is supposed to be pretty decent, right?
Not really. Like, it's fine.
It's top heavy.
It's Cooper and then everybody else. So
but
like
what about Bailey and Harper? I like them.
I don't believe in Bailey personally. Like
my pick is Harper over the
He's
two.
a scorer, but he doesn't do anything else. Like, and really, I say scorer, but he's a shooter, because like he can't put the ball on the ground. Like, he's a 2-dribble guy, gets to a shot, and can spot up. But like getting all the way to the basket, he doesn't finish well. Yeah, I mean, for his size and for his skill level, like, he doesn't finish well yet. He doesn't have a handle. Doesn't pass at all. Like, I'm like, I think that actually the lottery falling the way that it did is probably the best case scenario, because I think that him on Philly means that he doesn't have to be like a creator. Like, he already has
Maxey.
Who's the other guy that they got last year? McCain, Quentin Grimes shows you something. They still have Paul George and Joel Embiid for now. Like, so he doesn't have to come in and be like a guy that has to be a top line scorer. Like, he can just be kind of a spot up guy until he grows into that. Anyway, but Harper should be fine, but I don't know if he's necessarily like a future star. He could be, but there's less certainty there.
It's going crazy in the comments.
Camille said, by the way, Tim was extra tiny next to Eric this week.
Yeah, because I'm sitting. He got a whole elevated situation.
Okay, but anything else on draft or lottery?
No,
sorry, we are off that. Anything else on Giannis?
No.
I think that I don't think anything has. I think ultimately he's going to stay. That's my prediction as of right now. I do agree with you guys that I think this is the closest that it has come. But one, I think he doesn't want to leave. Like, you have guys like Dwight Howard and Melo have been like, grass ain't always greener, essentially, where it's like they're going to have to give up a ton to get you. And
then they got to figure it out after that. Like, obviously, going to play with Wemby is like,
that's
like hard to
Joker
argue
and
with.
Luka.
Yeah, like, it's hard to argue with. And I actually do think that their game, like, Wemby is kind of like Brook on steroids, basically, but like athletic and
Brook on steroids.
Can put the ball on the ground and do like
space the floor, pass the ball, set up the lob. A 2-man game between them two is nuts.
Like,
bro.
if there's a center, like if there's a perfect center to put next to Giannis, it's probably Wembanyama. I shouldn't even say probably. It's definitely Wembanyama. Like, maybe Jokic, but then you have defensive concerns. So like you have. Like,
two-way potential. Oh my god, that'd be terrible.
That would be intriguing to me if I was Giannis. But ultimately, I think, and like, just look at Dame, where it's like you are the guy that the franchise is built around. Everything is catered to you for a decade plus. Your kids are in school here. Your life is rooted here. This is the franchise that plucked you out of Greece. They changed your life. Like, there's an emotional pull there. And like you're just like you're comfortable, so like I do wonder if like all that kind of pulls him back, and if they can kind of present like, here's the plan for the summer. Like, I think he's looking for reasons to stay at this point.
And I can see that.
Maybe they can kind of figure that out. I will probably still put it at like 70-30 that he stays.
I'm just glad that. I know for a fact we ain't gonna see his ass in a Laker jersey. I'm so sick of the photoshops of him in the motherfucking
Keep
Laker
him coming,
jersey.
goddammit. Keep him coming. He gonna find his way.
I wouldn't. I'm not even gonna put this up.
What?
Would you do? No. It's a no. But would you do like if LeBron was the piece coming back?
No. I fuck with Brown, but no, not no more.
Run that.
Not no more.
Run that.
Give me 37-year-old LeBron.
The king? Hey,
let's do that trade at 37.
That's a good question. Like, what's the latest that you would take like a LeBron for current day Giannis?
Damn near 2 years.
37.
2 years ago.
Because that's Chip Bron still, ain't it? 36.
That was 5 years ago.
Is it 5?
That was 2020.
35-year-old LeBron.
Yeah.
Because hell, but even the next year though, like even after that, LeBron was still LeBroning. Like that's the crazy part.
LeBron's still playing top-notch defense though.
Oh yeah.
He did it.
You said
playoffs.
still?
Yeah, he did it.
And Pistons start.
Yeah. The 40s, man.
No, not today. Not today.
LeBron James.
But that would be crazy, LeBron in Milwaukee, even if it was.
That'd be nuts. Damn, I'm definitely have to get a jersey too.
And, and finally be a Bucks fan.
Yeah. What you mean?
I'm still
a Bucks fan the whole time we've been.
Like he'd be able to be outwardly, express it. It's just LeBron. Like you chose, nah, bro. It's the one on the front, not the back.
Oh shit.
Bradley Beal for Dame. Who says no?
Me.
Run that. Hey man, Bradley Beal's been bogus.
Camille, nah, watch out, bro.
Hey, they both. If you really think about it, they same at this point.
I mean, one of them is actually gonna get to play next year.
Yeah.
But then you can't trade them.
No.
See? Availability.
All that money.
He there. He there though.
I'm good on that.
Run that, Camille. We run.
I mean, again, like you've got Camille. Remind me, how many years does Bill have left on his contract? Because if it's longer than Dame's, then no. But if it's the same, might do it. Yeah, Bill ain't waiving that trade.
No, not at all.
So, but yeah, I mean, if their contracts go the same length, then I would take Bill just because he actually gives you somebody that can play next year, and I think that having the ball in his hand more will be like he will play better if he's not the third option. Like he is in Phoenix.
I think his play better is done.
Damn.
You had ample opportunity not to have no pressure on you like that. And put a ton of pressure on you.
Well, again, like it's like Giannis's cookie jar analogy, where it's like you can kind of let things come to you a little bit more if you know that you aren't just like this is the only shot you're gonna get.
I might touch it, I might not.
Yeah,
I might see it, I might not. Yeah.
So
that's why everybody want to be the point guard.
If he's the second option, or even on a team where like the second, if he was in like Miami, where it's like he's like probably the second option after Hero, but like Bam is probably their second best player, but Bam don't need the ball. So like if he's like the secondary playmaker essentially, but like in Phoenix, he has two dudes ahead of him that do exactly what he does except better. So it's like there's no spot for him essentially. Bill has a player option for 26, 27. So that's the same as Dame, I think. Anyway, wrestling. This will be the last little bit. We are close on time. Backlash was this weekend. Every cast member went 4-1 on their predictions. I tried to get cute, and it cost me because I could have been undefeated. But fill in the blank. The best match from Backlash was
Fatal 4-Way.
Wow.
I agree.
I thoroughly enjoyed that match, the storytelling in between there, and then the story at the end of there. Because honestly, at some point, I thought that Solo was gonna come in and screw Jacob.
Well, that's why I got it wrong. I picked. We lost video. We're still here.
We're still good.
Yeah, I thought that. Although I feel like what happened on Saturday is setting up what I predicted, so it's just like I was a little bit early, but I thought that this was when Solo was going to turn on him. But like now he has Jeff Cobb, and I think that's going to be his Solo replacement. So when he's ready to make his move, that's going to set up Jeff Cobb and Solo. They're going to throw hands.
Dude, Jeff Cobb looked like Rhino.
He built like
he's just a ball of muscle. Like, that is a big motherfucker. Like, damn. Like, no, he remind me of Rhino for sure.
He like if Rhino, Taz, and Bronson Reed had a baby.
But he's been really good on the indie circuit though, and he was at AEW. Chris Jericho actually brought him in for a few matches.
Yeah, so like that should be cool. Like is Tama hurt or something? Like I
think he is hurt. I think it's a forearm or something like that. I know he is out.
Wait, Tama or Tagaloa?
Tagaloa's hurt.
Tagaloa, I know is hurt. He got hurt in the War Games, but the smaller one.
Oh shit, I don't know. The one that be yeah. I don't know. He gotta be if he ain't been around.
Shells in the comment said, I don't understand the point of Gunther and Pat. Camille said, I don't understand it either, but I was thoroughly entertained. Shaolin said, Pat made an ass whooping look good.
Chopping the shit out of his ass.
And Camille agreed with me where she says Jeff Cobb is going to be Solo's spot 2 replacement. Yep. The Gunther Pat McAfee match was way better than it had any right to be.
Yeah, for sure.
I enjoyed that match. Actually.
I did too.
Pat looked like greased up deaf guy from Family Guy.
He was chopping. And when he powerbombed, that's a wrap, bro. Oh, he powerbombed the shit out of Pat. Michael Cole standing up, poking his chest out.
I mean, I think that's a good. I think that they did what they were supposed to.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Gunther doesn't look any worse off for destroying Pat, but like it was still a match where it was like gave you like a little glimmer of hope a couple of times, but for the most part was like a sustained beatdown. So like, I was with it. I think I picked the main event as the top match, mainly because that was the only match I really saw in totality. So,
Yeah.
but I was thoroughly sports entertained. Even with their limitations, like they still put on a good show. Like they had a lot of callbacks to like past matches that they had. Randy went RKO crazy for a minute.
Dog.
That's always fun.
Yeah, the ref pissed him off, bro. And then the authority coming out there, like, get out the ring, get out my way.
I could tell when Nick Aldis was just like sticking his neck out a lot as he was talking. I'm like, oh yeah, you about to get dropped.
Like, you came down here with no ref. It's just a bunch of bodies. Like, where the fuck is the ref at? I don't need none of you motherfuckers. Wait by the ringside. Let him do 1, 2, 3, and then drag his ass out and help him out. Why are you here?
But speaking of the main event, what were your thoughts? Dig it?
19 millionth time for John Cena versus Randy. I was there for most of them, so I seen a lot of them. But they did still put on a better match than I thought it would be. Because I'm like, this is the 18 millionth time that we've seen this, bro. But it was cool how they was putting up the stats because of how many matches they've had together. That was the 11th time that they met for the championship, though, with Cena now having the 6-5 lead. So his World Tour is still adding on stats and things like that to his accolades over certain players or superstars. But no, it was cool. I didn't mind it at all. Once the ending was realized, I'm like, I know I wasn't mad that he won it. It was just, we ain't got to see this shit.
Yeah, you're not going to.
I'm relieved.
Now you're watching
for the final time. But no, this is my first time seeing Cena and Randy Orton fight. Again, I like you guys say, it was a lot better than I expected it to be. Shout out to John Cena though. He turned heel and he has the classic heel moveset, fam. Breaking the eyes, shit, low blowing, winning matches and shit.
Hitting people in the head with titles.
Yeah, and you know that's classic heel shit. So
that's the first time I think he won by hitting somebody in the head with the belt like that.
Shit, he been doing that shit since he won the title. That's his finisher and
basically.
Shit.
That's how he beat Kobe. Good question, Sales. That actually brings me to my next question. He says, R-Truth versus Cena match. Where do they go next with Cena's run?
So I know they're doing a running joke they've been doing for some years that R-Truth is saying that John Cena was his favorite. Yeah, it was his boyhood hero growing up and shit. And them niggas,
he older.
Yeah, he older than Cena and shit. But I do know they have ties to, like, you know, when they both came up together wrestling and stuff like that, and they actually do respect each other and like have love for each other. So it'll be dope too, because that R-Truth has always just been that guy just kind of hanging around and they trying to figure out where to piece him, but he's just so fucking charismatic and so fucking funny that you just have to do something with him. But it'd be dope to see him and Cena in an actual match. So yeah, I'm with that. And then it, you know, boosts R-Truth. So you gotta love that guy.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out because, like, I'm assuming that they're holding off somebody that can legitimately beat him for SummerSlam, which is at the beginning of August. So they kind of need
when the
bridge.
Coaster be back.
Yeah, which I do wonder when he's coming back because he hasn't been seen since.
He deserves it.
He deserved his break,
definitely.
But also, you gotta, I don't know, whatever. It seems weird that you wouldn't at least have him like write him off. Because like now it just disappeared. Now it just seemed like he hiding after he lost his title.
He had to lick his wounds, bro.
Yeah. I'm saying from a character standpoint.
Yeah.
So I had thrown out like what are the matches that we still need to see from Cena before he wraps it up? Like, we got to get another Punk match.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get the Cody rematch.
Yeah, we got to fight. I want to see Roman.
Is he going to fight Roman again?
Yeah, he got to get Roman in there.
Are we going to get a Rey Mysterio match? Like, that's again, like GOAT versus GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
When are you setting the Cody match? SummerSlam?
So I think SummerSlam.
It's either SummerSlam or it's his final match.
So if we talking SummerSlam, we have Saturday night main event.
Mm-hmm.
Money in the Bank, Night of Champions, another Saturday night main event, and then SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 pay-per-view. These two are NXT, but 4 in between. So I'm thinking, because initially I was like, well, shit, he can have LA Knight a feud with him before he go too. I was like, but that would be like Night of Champions. I just got to look at what Night of Champions is. But Night of Champions is usually champion versus champion too.
Of course. Yeah.
So then you leave Money in the Bank. So
Saudi. So I think the Saudi. That might be the Punk
That may,
one.
yeah. Well, that might be Roman.
Yeah, I would think it's
Punk
Punk.
ain't going.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I
I
think the
think
Roman one.
From politically, like I don't think Punk is gonna go.
Didn't he lose his belt to AJ Styles in Saudi? So when they went for the other championship match, when they made it, wasn't that in Saudi? Seth.
You talking about Punk? Oh,
Oh, you said Punk,
Yeah,
not
you said
Seth. I'm
Punk.
thinking Seth
Yeah.
when you said Punk. I don't know why.
No, Punk. I doubt he's going.
But
so
yeah,
Punk
so
might be SummerSlam actually, and I think they hold off Cody because I think Cody's gonna be the one to take his belt.
so he can have R-Truth, LA Knight.
AJ.
I don't know why you penciling it LA Knight.
I just feel like I feel like that just works out. Like he needs baby faces. He got
He
the SmackDown
does.
title. He's gonna have like mini feuds or what we call in an anime the one-off shows or
I
whatever.
see
the fuck.
him and damn near Gunther before I
That
see
was gonna be my one.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't know
Gunther
how they
might
gonna
be-
get
I
there.
don't
That
know
could
how
be
they
Night of
would,
Champions
but
because
that'd be a
it
good
would have to be Gunther or Jey Uso at Night of Champions because
Well,
it's champion
I
match.
don't think it's gonna be champion versus champion.
Or all the belts are just defended
All
at
the
Night of
belts,
Champions.
yeah.
I thought that was champions versus champions.
No, that was bragging rights on it.
Ah,
I don't
you're right.
remember.
Yeah, no, Gunther's the one where it's like that was what I was hoping was gonna be his Mania match because I feel like Cena built a career off of beating up foreign heels, so like that would have been a good little send off for him. Like now that they're both heels, like I don't know, but one I also put is Bad Bunny. Like if Travis Scott is coming back, so if Travis Scott is actually going to wrestle, then I want to see like a tag team match.
Okay.
I don't know who Bunny's partner would be, but Bunny and a partner versus
Damian
Cena
Priest.
and maybe actually,
Damian Priest makes sense.
yeah.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I was looking at the Night of Champions card from 23. Every belt was defended, but they also had some singles matches in between there too. So
Yeah.
it's a possibility.
I think
Then,
it's just
but it was
an
7
angle.
matches then too
Yeah.
in Triple H. But then it's also in Saudi.
Yeah.
So they probably would do 7 matches as opposed to 5 again.
Rate this PLE on a scale of 1 to 10. This PLE being the one we just watched, Backlash.
I give it an 8, man. I was sports entertained, as you say.
I think 8's all around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave it an 8 as well.
It was solid, not spectacular.
It did its job.
Anything else wrestling related that you want to mention?
No, I don't.
I just have one question.
What you got?
So yesterday on Raw, the like Seth group came out and they were gonna beat up CM Punk.
Right, because he called the Penguin out.
Yeah. And then Sammy comes out to make the save and Jey Uso comes out to make the save. So that's 3 on Punk's side, and that's still only 2 wrestlers on Seth's side. And I don't know if Seth said it or if it was just on commentary, but they seem to be like, the architect always has a plan. So
Yeah,
like,
they've been alluding to
I
a
think
third
they're setting
person for a little
up that
bit.
there's going to be a third guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the third guy?
I'm trying to think of the type though. Like, would they go bruiser, big bruiser? Do they go established vet? But I feel like Seth is like the established vet. And then you got the young bruiser, like the
So you need somebody in between, like a
right, somebody who's already been here, but at the same time still got room to kind of grow into that role too. Like who else needs
So
to
you
put
don't
like
bring-
Austin Theory?
So you
I would hate that though, but that
I mean,
makes
he was
sense.
always the
No, he
business
makes
guy
sense.
for a minute.
He
he's
makes
already
perfect
he's
sense.
already been in a stable with what's his name though? With
Breaker?
Rollins.
Oh, Rollins. Was he?
Yeah, it was like during the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Like when
Yeah.
he was doing like the savior thing.
Mm.
He's doing
Because him and Waller's beefing right now. Or that's
they're
about to
setting
start.
that up, yeah. So
So
he's turning face.
but yeah, I'm thinking like who else is a vet that can use that bump? AJ Styles?
Well, I
Well,
thought
his last
about
run,
AJ,
he'd be the
but
Flair
I don't
type.
see him doing that though.
He'd be the Flair of the
He
group.
would be. It'll make sense. Or Shinsuke, somebody like that.
Oh! Alistair Black is back.
Shaolin said Jimmy.
I don't know.
Big Jim. I don't know if he can turn on Jay again.
Yeah, because we already seen it. Nobody really want to see that shit no more.
One I did think, and And I saw somebody posted it like online, like the pictures side by side, but like the way that they were standing with Jay, Punk, and Sammy had a chair, and it looked like when Rollins turned on the Shield, and he already tried to recruit Sammy like the first night.
Oh, and Sammy
so it could be just a turnaround later on.
Yeah, and they have the tag match at Saturday Night Main Event, which they just set up. So like maybe that's where Sammy turns on Punk.
He fits the mold that I was just talking about too.
He does.
Yeah,
He's the already established vet. Could use another little push. You know. Yeah.
Bring him back into a relevant storyline too.
And
he stays in the relevant storyline.
And they had a little backstage thing where it's like, I don't trust you. Like, you can trust me. So like that. The more I talk about it, I think it's gonna be Sammy.
Sammy.
I don't know how that looks.
Yeah, it don't look
visually.
good. Yeah, it don't look good. But
maybe they gotta start wearing suits.
I mean, Brian's already wearing suits. Seth is just peacocking per usual.
Well, you know, that's it. That's it.
Victor Torres say, "Yo, what up?
What it do?
You are coming in at the end though, so
welcome.
We appreciate
anyway.
you coming. Just
welcome for sure.
Rewind, start it over. That's all we got for the week.
That's all.
The NFL is starting to release their schedule, but the full one comes out tomorrow, so we'll talk about that next week. And WNBA season starts this Friday. Stake your team now.
You already know. Sparks out here. All day.
Aces forever.
Sparks.
I was Aces coming in here, but my daughter is a Bukers fan. And she's with a Rike.
Oh, yeah. You already know what that's for to be. That's my second team.
So I may be rolling with
Go ahead, bro. Good Dallas.
I might be rolling with Dallas.
That's fine.
I might be with the Stars this year. Oh, not the Stars. That's the hockey team.
Dallas won
the
two.
Wings.
Dallas won 2 lotteries this year. They won the Page lottery and Coop.
Yeah, Page.
They really trying to make up for that Luka trade.
Yeah, bro. So we'll see. But no, they looked good. They're looking good in the preseason too. And so I was like, she hit me. I was like, well, whenever the next game come on, she was like, I'll hit you. I was like, let me know. I'll watch it with you. So I'll probably be a Wings fan.
Go see when they play in Chicago.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's figure that out.
Okay. Yeah, that's our team. If you want to throw your team in the comments while we do the outro, rep your squads. I don't want no
squad
front runners. They'll say shout out to Chicago Sky.
Put them in a coffin.
Oh yeah, because we know the coach too. So shout out to Tyler. And the Cavs are dead. So Camille Monet on everything, I believe.
CAM.
Yeah.
ILLEMONAE.
Thank you. PSN, 2K,
Blue
Twitter,
Sky, all that.
Blue Sky, everything. Just Camille Monet. She's a brand.
Indeed.
She's the only one of us.
Famous as fuck.
She's a famous one. We just the pips.
We just here. So we don't get fined.
Shucking and jiving.
I'm at Busburner on Twitter still for now.
That's all you get.
That's all you get.
Everyday_gentleman on Instagram. K Harris 216 on Twitter, Snapchat, and Blue Sky.
Y'all reminded me tonight. This your boy TIMKINZD 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. I am on Blue Sky now. I just haven't put anything on there. I forgot.
I don't think I put nothing on there either. I'm on there though. We gotta start getting on there.
No, I'm actually gonna put something up there. Yeah. Let me get this train rolling.
I know.
But we good. We out.
Peace, y'all. We out of here.
Tech file. Yeah, let's just play that music.
Hit him hard. Let's go. That TECK. Running back like where's my replay? Got it all in the mix, no DJs. Said it's hard in the game like eat damn miscellaneous. Spitting real talk with the entertainment. Other podcasts that the game up and they get smacked back down like a WrestleMania. Cut them a little bit because they know sweaty at a home city. You know, get it blocked even on the low setting. And you know what you say, so we never gotta get tight than everybody else. They should get ready. Ain't nobody else doing this like I. Better keep them cameras and microphones hot, cause this one's a vibe. Gotta run this race with my tribe. Going live with the pie. Do it like it's no tomorrow. Came to my ear later. Shout out to my